What's up, everybody? Tech Chucker here, and today we've got another review of the Hasbro Marvel Legends X-Men Wave Colossus. And this is one of the figures from this wave that I really had to have. I wasn't super keen on the costume design that they used for this particular version, but you know what? The figure is so good, in my opinion, that I can overlook the undesirable costume without any issue. This figure is super cool, and I right out of the bat, I'm going to recommend you need to go get this figure. It's really good. But let's go ahead and crack this thing open and take a closer look anyway. Alrighty, so the articulation on this figure, there's nothing super unique at all about this figure, but they executed it very well. Starting with the head, he's got a ball peg with a hinge, and he's able to look up all the way, which is awesome. He's able to look all the way down. It does look a little awkward, so you got to pull it back up just so it looks a little more natural. But he's got full rotation, no issues with the side to side. That works really well. And then he's also got a decent amount of tilt, which really makes me happy. In the shoulders, he's got the standard ball hinge, which works pretty well. He's able to get his arm or his shoulder all the way out, which is great. He's got full rotation of that arm, which is also awesome. He's got an upper bicep swivel, which also works pretty well, and it's sculpted pretty nicely. He does have a single hinge in the elbow, and it is pretty limited. So there, with that, is a little bit annoying, but that's okay. I can live with it. In the wrist, he's got a peg and a hinge, and it's kind of limited, especially moving up because of that. I don't know, whatever that forearm thing is. But in the torso, he's got an ab crunch, which works really well, both forward and backwards, and it doesn't look bad. It looks pretty darn good. They kept the paint going. Awesome. He's got a waist swivel, which works really well. It does look a little funky when you're using it, but that's okay. He's got T-jointed hip joints, and look at that. He can do the splits almost better than Pizza Spidey. So let's do a flat on the floor look. That's pretty good. For Colossus, he's a big guy. He doesn't need to be any more flexible than that. I'm really happy. He's able to kick forward just above his hips, which is awesome. Look at that. That's awesome. And not a lot for backwards kick, just enough, and that it'll do. He's got an upper thigh cut, which works pretty well. No issues. He's got double jointed knees, which are a little bit hindered, but you know what? He's a big guy. He doesn't need to be that flexible again. And then he's got an upper boot swivel. I'm not a fan of it, but it's nice and tight. And then he's got a hinge in that ankle, gets his foot all the way back. Forward, it's a little bit hindered. Could be better, but still not too bad. And then he's got an ankle rocker, which works really well. So overall, I'm super happy with the articulation on this figure. It's very well balanced, so he's very easy to pose. Those feet are nice and big. So he's really fun to pose, and he looks great, which we're going to talk about in just a moment. And look at that, we're already here, ready to talk about the look. The sculpt on this figure is nothing short of amazing. Well, maybe, I don't know, I love it. I love the way that they sculpted this. I love the way that they painted it. This face sculpt is just amazing. I love it. I think it captures the look of Colossus perfectly. The paint is executed so well. That smooth hair, the metallic look. I just think that they did a great job. I have no changes that I would ask for in that head sculpt. Moving into the torso, I think that, you know, I already noted that this isn't the design that I like for the costume, but I think they executed it well. The paint is pretty darn clean. The musculature is nice looking. I love the arms. I think they did an amazing job with that black wash and the paint. For that silver. I think these hands are awesome. I like the wrist guards and whatnot. The back looks a little funky, but I think no matter what, it would have looked weird just because it looks like he's wearing a weird jumpsuit, which he is. But, you know, moving into the legs, I think, again, they painted it very cleanly. I think the lines are pretty darn clean. They're a little bit messy on the thighs, but it still looks great. I've got a little paint splatter on my foot here on the left foot. I'll probably try and scrape more of that off camera. But, you know, even with that, I think that they did an amazing job. I think that Hasbro really knocked this one out of the park. I don't know that I could be much happier with with this figure, right? Aside from if they chose the costume that I liked. Let's take a closer look at the hands, because I think these are sculpted super well. Just the detail on these hands is really great, and it's worth a second look, because these things, Hasbro did a great job. I just, hats off to them. I'm really surprised at how well they did with this figure, and I get it. I'm gushing about it, but I love it. I think this is a great figure. It might even be, I haven't finished the wave, but this might be my favorite of the wave. All right, let's talk accessories. Colossus doesn't come with much. He comes with this alternate head, which is the bearded face, and this thing is just as good, if not even better, than the standard head that he comes with. They had the exact same paint and sculpt look and feel of that nice metallic look. I just think this looks great. I think it looks amazing. And let's pop this one off and pop this new one on, and you'll see just how good this thing looks. I'm gonna gush about it, because I think Hasbro did a great job, and they deserve the credit when they do a good job. I mean, just look at that. It looks so good on this figure. I don't know. I love it. I think it's amazing. But let's come back to reality. What could they have done better? In terms of accessories, I think alternate hands would have been great. If we could have had two closed fists, that would have been awesome, and two kind of splayed open hands. That would have really made this figure 100% perfect. I would have claimed it to be the best figure of the year, and I may still, depending on how 2017 goes. This is probably at the top of my list right now, and it probably should be at the top of your list. So you need to add this to your collection. It's a great figure. It's fun to pose. It's fun to take pictures of. Aesthetically, it looks amazing. So definitely get out there and grab this figure if you can find it.
Alrighty folks, I hope you liked this video. If you did, go ahead and hit that like button. If you haven't already done so, click the subscribe button. Check out some of my other videos. You can see them right up here and down here. Also, check out the featured video that I've got here. Every single video I'm going to feature someone else's video. Somebody who has a channel, either it's an up-and-comer like myself, or somebody who's an old pro. Whatever it is, it's going to be awesome, so make sure you go check it out, like their content, subscribe to their channel, and until next time, I'll see you later.
Tech Trickers Brain Blast.